Hi, good evening and welcome you all. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good evening, sir.
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 Very good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Hi.
Good evening, sir.
Bharat, you are looking nice. Good. Nice. Still many to join here.
Yes, sir. There's a quick questions.
Everyone joining. Yes, Mr. Sadaji, good evening.
Yes, sir. Sir, the basic question is that we are having one proprietorship forum already from the past 25 years. And one is joint, that is forum registration.
Okay.
Now for the new business, as you mentioned that we better go with a proprietorship only.
No. What is your present concern? This one, our nation.
Ours is one is SS Engineering and Services. We are dealing in construction chemical dealers that my wife is taking care.
Okay.
From the past 25 years, she got the market hold.
Very good.
So we wanted to continue the same trading in a different form, in a proprietor only.
Okay.
So now the GST, what we are already having, whether it's the same GST or we have to go for a new GST power.
Can you repeat the name?
Sorry, sir.
Let me mute everyone. Please unmute. No, please unmute. You are muted.
Yeah, I unmuted, sir, now. Sir. That now the existing forum is a big name. As you mentioned first day, you don't go for a bigger name.
No, tell me, what is the name?
That is SS Engineering and Services.
Engineering and Services. What product you wanted to do now?
No, anything, whatever we get.
Okay. Not related to engineering.
No.
Okay, then you have to think of.
Sir. So new forum, for a new forum, we require new GST.
New GST.
Correct. The owner can be the single, but for new forum, new GST is required.
But new GST will come only for one person, one company.
Yeah, I got it, sir. That is clear. The other, even though the proprietorship, same proprietor, GST is different for the new firm. That's why.
Same proprietor will not get two GSTs.
Sir, that's what, no, sir, how to go about it now.
I'm clarifying you. Same GST, the same owner will not get two GSTs because it is card based.
Okay. Then should we use the same GST number for the different forum? When we go for a new forum?
You cannot tag it. Can you use your passport number to your son?
No, then how to go about it, sir? Then because we want to go for a new firm.
New firm means then individually you can go. Already your missus is having one firm, you go for one firm. Sadanand Enterprises.
Okay. You are not recommending the proprietor who is already got the proprietorship business. You are not recommending another firm, a proprietorship.
System will not allow.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Not in my hand. System does not allow to make one. Otherwise, people will make so many proprietor companies. But I can give you the clue. You are already having a private one partnership that is having a
partnership firm is there already.
You can form one more partnership also 3 member. You can also have a separate PAN card.
That is true, sir. Yeah, I know. That's a partnership. That's a PAN number, different GST name.
You want to do as a proprietor, then go with your name. Your name is blank now.
Okay, yeah.
Your name is available readily. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That's right.
Well, all right, sir. Good evening, Jatin here from Noida. Yeah, actually, finally, after 4 days, I have got I've got a little idea about a couple of products that we can start to export.
Nice.
Number one is, bamboo fabric, or probably there are other organic fabrics available in the market, which are getting into demand these days.
Both
And
are very niche products. Both are very niche products.
niche products, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Bamboo fabric and other organic fabrics, right?
Yes.
And another product is bamboo salt.
Salt.
Yeah, I checked one video on YouTube about bamboo salt. I'm not sure how potential this product is, but I just checked some videos about it.
What's the name?
Okay, no problem. But the other product is, it is related to the Apida products like garlic powder, ashwagandha, lemongrass oil, and there is one ginger powder. So these are some powders that I can export. I mean, in a natural form. So another product is I know one person who's into pearl farming, moti ki farming karte hain wo. So is pearl farming? I mean, if we export pearl, is that good?
Very well. You can.
Okay. And the fourth and last product that I chose was metal scrap, because I started metal scrap business in 2018, but somehow I could not proceed further with it, so I stopped it.
Oh.
But again, I want to start export. Earlier I thought of doing import, but now because I attended your session, I got too much influence with the export thing. So I'm planning to do export instead of import now. So these are the four products that I've come up with. So I would request you to please suggest me that which is the best product that I can start with.
Still you can zero down. We'll discuss separately.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Next. Okay. Let us go to the.
Can I ask you one more question if
Oh,
possible?
no more. People are already having in queue. Let us take only Prabhu last question, because
Okay.
only Prabhu has raised the hand.
Sir, my question is, if I am the trader, which market is required the handmade soap and Ayurveda products? Which countries preference is there? If
What-
I am doing the trading right now.
Whether you are trader or manufacturer, market is market. Okay. What was your
Okay.
first day observations? First day assignment. Have you done that?
Yeah, sir.
So what was your findings?
Sir, this Asian countries like South Africa, sorry, African countries
Hmm.
that we can able to export the handmade soap and other things like Ayurveda herbal products.
See, whatever the answer you are telling, that is already there in the book, in the findings. The same answer, I will also tell the same thing.
Okay.
Not only Africa, the whole India is a whole world is a market for handmade soap, that too organic.
Okay. Okay.
Good market. Okay.
Okay.
So without losing time, then we'll go to the subject, main subject. If anything, I'll take it later. So this session we are talking about the risk management. Can you highlight what kind of risks you foresee in the business? What types of businesses risks you are expecting, you afraid of? Payment issue, payment cancellation, technical issues, buyer may back out from deal, returns, payment, quality, returns, customs. Customs is a facilitator, not the your risk. Delay. If tomorrow buyer don't honor LC, very good. Stock damage, quality, currency fluctuation, very good. So currency fluctuation, yesterday we had a solution. Subhash is there. Okay, shipment, transportation, documentation, climate, quality, buyer withdrawal, communication, culturally, trade policy. Very good. Shipment and transportation. So these are the some of the apprehensions about the risk in the business. Okay. For everything, there is a solution. You should also understand what kind of risks, what different situations may arise. Everybody has mentioned in the initial, everybody talking about the payment. What type of payments, everything will be, what kind of different situations may come dealing, in the physical goods when they are dealing with your clients in terms of payments. Similarly, various issues may arise for the damage of the goods. That is a separate insurance, that is called marine insurance. So for damage of your payment, anything happens with the payment, there is another solution. So even in my introduction class also we discussed about the ECGC. So today we have a very senior official, is sir, just retired as a DGM from ECGC. We welcome you, sir, Sasikumar sir.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening to all.
Sasikumar sir is joining from Mumbai. Sir just retired from ECGC, and he has retired means I cannot talk about the experience. So all along, you are dealing with the clients, helping them to recovery, guiding them in a proper way, how to mitigate the risks. And during sir's tenure, he has seen so many such cases. People got cheated, and how they have recovered. And let us listen to sir about the what the government policies, under what are the circumstances, different situations, the payment issues will come. So sir will take us through the process, and also sir also will touch upon the physical good damage also. So that will clear the total risk factors. And one factor we have already discussed about the dollar fluctuation. Dollar fluctuation, suppose yesterday we were discussing about the hedging process. If you are doing that hedging, whatever the dollar price today, you will be getting the same whatever you are forward selling, that is forward contract. If you are able to do, you will be getting the same money irrespective of the dollar value. Further, you can also discuss with your bankers, they will also guide you. So with this small brief intro, I'll introduce to Sasikumar sir. We welcome you, sir.
Yes. Good evening.
Our session is over to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
I thank and appreciate Rao Garu for his untiring, laudable activity of conducting program Pan India. I am delighted today for having this opportunity to talk to you all. I understand that you are all from various states, districts, etc., but with a uniform intention to learn. I take this occasion to encourage you all for choosing export trade to earn foreign currency to our nation. It is not an easy task to perform. I heartily welcome you all to this presentation on export credit risk management by quoting, one cannot discover new oceans unless he or she has got the courage to lose sight of the shore, the risk. Let us see what are they. Before we proceed, I present before you the export scenario of our India nation. If you compare the last 4 years' performance, prior to the COVID situations, we were able to achieve 13.31%, 7.47% increase respectively in the export trade. So yes, with the import. But the 2019-20, the starting of the corona had made us to little bit performing lesser than what the previous year, standing at 1.49% lesser. And to so the year-on-year basis, the last year 2021 ends with 493 billion export, minus 6.66%. So yes, with import, US dollar 506 billion, minus 16.53. The present day, till May, April and May, we could achieve 98.29 billion, which is an increase of 57% year-on-year basis. And so with the import, US dollar 104.14 billion, 78% plus. The trade deficit stands at minus US dollar 5.85 billion. Our foreign exchange reserve stands at, we have crossed 600 billion, and today it is US dollar 608.8 billion, which is equivalent to cover our 18 months imports. And comparing the largest countries which are having the highest foreign exchange reserve, we are standing just crossing the Russia fourth position. But as it is in the normal course, we are standing always in the fifth position after China, Japan, Switzerland, and Russia. The dollar rupees rate hovering around 74.12 as on June. Before I proceed, I want to bring to your kind attention that the aspect. We all very well aware that the main cause for the deceleration in the growth of the export trade is COVID, Corona, lockdown, so many terms we have come across. At the beginning of the foreign trade policy 2015-20, the aims were: one, to double our exports to US dollar 400 billion, which we could achieve during the period. The second one was to increase India's contribution in the world exports from 2% to 3.5%, which we could not achieve because it is hovering around 2.6%. We all know the new foreign trade policy 2021-2026 is underway by focusing new areas. Pending that, the present situation is the existing policy period has been extended till 30th September 21. In the recently held a Board of Trade meeting, our Ministry of Commerce and Industry, before all the officials, state officials, industry officials, the industry representatives, etc., he has declared that we have to reach the target of our export rate to $1 trillion by 2025. I am confident you would all be parties to that. You have now become the exporter after going through all the procedures, let us assume, and obtaining the important and necessary documents as mentioned by Rao Garu about some 10 items, and are ready to make the shipments exports. You are now an exporter. Presently, you get an order from an unknown overseas buyer through contacts, agents, or some other exporter friends, and the buyer is more than thousands of kilometers away from your place, that is India. Are you sure that he will promptly make payment? A minuscule doubt exists. So the problem begins here. There comes some other more disturbances or difficulties in choosing a correct shipping term, the mode of delivery, and proper terms of payment. Of course, both buyer and you should come to an understanding before entering into an agreement or contract for effecting shipments, which includes the jurisdiction or dispute settlement. Mostly and necessarily, the jurisdiction will be the buyer's country, as the judgment in India cannot be enforceable over that country. Moreover, the overseas buyer will not come down to India to plead or present or attend this case once he is defaulted. So to say, without taking risk, nothing is possible. Yes, export trade is not an exceptional to that. Dear friends, let us analyze those export credit risks now. To begin with, the risk management. That is, risk is comprehensively divided into two categories. One is affecting the goods, the other is affecting the receivables. Goods, it can be loss or damage, and also it can be partial or full, complete. In which case, we may have to seek the help of marine insurance. We will examine those cases. With reference to receivables again, it is broadly divided into two categories. One is exchange risk, other is payment risk. Now, the marine insurance. I do not want to touch much of the things in this. You just remember Incoterms and all you would have been already discussed. Here, the only point I would draw your attention is these are all terms of delivery based on which you will decide who has to pay which cost and whose responsibility is to reach the destination by delivery of the goods, by which mode, etc. Okay. Now, marine insurance. We all know that at the beginning we have been seeing the goods loss has to be compensated. There are so many risks involved that the ending is the risk is damaged goods. It can be partial or complete. Now, the cover is available with reference to marine insurance for the loss of goods. It is by sea, air, land, or domestic cargo. But remember, it is compulsory. Either exporter has to take or the buyer will have to take. You got to compensate or get the good of the loss if anything happens. The types are many, but all cover is the best advisable provision for the exporters to have. Then again, insurance is for many situations. It can be for freight or liability, etc. But always it is advisable marine cargo and sea shipment. I mean air shipment. Both sea shipments, air shipments are covering. So, in a nutshell, it can be described that as an exporter, you all have to go for all cover covering marine and cargo shipments. The risk damage to goods consists of due to many causes or what we call it risk. It can be due to fire, explosion, contact with water, breakage. There are about 19 numbers of this due to which the goods will get damaged. The loss compensation which a marine insurer will provide is value plus 100% more. That is 110% coverage you will get. Then again, the premium is depending on the estimate to which extent you require and based on the amount of the indemnity. Now, the period for 1 year you can avail it. Suppose at the beginning, if you give a quote that your turnover will be like this, and the insurer will quote the premium, how much premium has to be paid, that will be kept as an advance for 1 year period. Then, whenever you prepare the post-shipment documents through online system, you have to make the entry, what is the shipment value, etc. 110% it will calculate, and finally, the premium will be mentioned there and deducted to that extent from your deposit premium. Then immediately the cover note will be appearing that you can take a printout and say attach with the other documents. Once the cover note is issued, from that point of onwards, your cover will begin. This cover will begin from the place of origin to the destination. It can be from your manufacturing unit to the destination of the buyer, or from your factory, or whatsoever, as per your convenience, what you want to avail, accordingly it can be. But there are certain things that are not covered, you should understand. Bogus bill of lading, delivery of the cargo without bill of lading, cargo carried on under deck loading, arrest or detention of ship, etc. There are certain things which have been mentioned. If this is happened, which is cause of goods loss, it cannot be covered. So one has to be ensured that this will not happen. There are some about 18 insurers available in the market. Some 4 are belonging to public sector undertaking, that National Insurance, New India, Oriental United India. There are private players also. They are Bajaj Allianz, HDFC Ergo, Tata AIG, like that you can go for. The only one point I want to bring to your this is the law of subrogation. That is, whenever any of the risks materializes and you happen to claim with the insurer, then they will have the claim or by the way of this subrogation clause to receive all original documents from the insured. This will be applicable to all insurers. So this is the right once the claim happens to be materials and tenable by the marine insurance or any insurance. They are working on the certain principles and there will be certain percentage of reduction in claim according to the agreement which has been entered into. Now, once if you take this insurance, it will give protection for your loss of goods. Now, coming to the payment risk. Now, these are all various terms of payment probably you might have gone through. I will just recapitulate for the purpose of our discussion in a brief way. The advance payment, first and foremost, that means the payment will get received at your banker's account before you make the shipment. But in today's nature, do you think that any or every buyer will come to an agreement to pay you advance payment? I don't think so. Unless otherwise, if the product is such a demand in his country, or if it fetches him a high percentage of gain or profit. Now, being a new exporter and new buyer, you may enter into an agreement saying that ये फर्स्ट पर पहले बार हम लोग बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, so we should both come into a common terms. So आप एक काम करो, 50% advance payment दे दो, बाकी 50% after receipt of the goods I will make the payment. So at the most you can convince him or he gets convinced for payment a partial advance payment. The remaining partial payment you have to seek any of the other terms of payment. Now, next comes the letters of credit. Letter of credit consists of 4 parties. One is the buyer. Second is LC opening bank. Third is LC negotiating and advising bank. It can be together or it can be different banks. And the exporter, the beneficiary. It is in short term we can explain. The letters of credit is a letter confirming to honor the payment if the beneficiary completes the shipment and submits the so many documents which are mentioned in the letter of credit. If they are found in order, the LC opening bank will honor it through the advising bank. This is simple term. That means what are all documents mentioned over there, you should be in a position to submit, which will be found correct. Then the LC negotiating will give the signal and your payment will be received. Okay. Now, next comes payments under confirmed orders. So normally at the initial stage, you will negotiate it and finalize the terms of payment. Then either pro forma invoice will be raised or he will give you a confirmed order signing that what are all the terms you are that are applicable for the shipment, it will be mentioned. Then both the parties sometimes sign. This is called confirmed order. These are all applicable normally. What we see is short-term credits. They are, as per RBI norms, the payment has got to be realized within 270 days for 9 months. The first and foremost we define is documents against payment. The similar terms, what they call it is cash against delivery, that is CAD. Documents against payment, DP. Cash on delivery, COD. These are all one and a similar term, only the nomenclature differs. The compact differs. But this is what precisely say is paisa de do, mal le lo. That means as soon as the shipments are made, the documents, including bill of lading, which is the negotiable instrument act, the instrument forming part of the title of the goods, will be submitted by you to your bankers. The bankers will in turn send them to the buyer's bank. As soon as the buyer bank receives that, he will inform the buyer saying that here are the title of the goods. Please come make the payment so that you can take delivery of the goods. Now, sometimes it so happens, the anxiety, the buyer will ask the banker to hold the documents for a while and will go to the port and confirm that the ship has landed there and goods are unloaded to ensure that the goods had reached safely in the destination. Then he will again come, make the payment, takes the title of the goods for taking delivery of the goods from the port. This is called CAD, DP or COD on arrival of the steamer. But the procedure and other aspect will remain one and same. Here, one of the most important points which you have to bear in mind is you are the owner till the goods are taken delivery by the buyer. Ownership remains with you as an exporter. You can do or act on any way as you deem fit for the disposal of the goods. Okay. Now, next come to the thing is documents against acceptance, that is DA. It can be after 30 days from the date of shipment or 60 days, 90 days, as the case may be, even after 270 days, as the case may be, how you are making agreement with them. But in this case, the difference between the earlier terms of payment DP and the DA is the ownership of exporter is passed on to the buyer by allowing him to take delivery of the goods. In this case, माल ले लिया हूं, पैसा बाद में दे दूंगा. But here, along with all the documents as an exporter, you will raise bill of exchange, and that will be accepted by the buyer, upon which the document, that is title of the goods, will be released to him. He will go and take delivery of the goods. Now, once he has taken delivery of the goods, as per the terms, after 60 days or the 90 days, he will make the payment. Now, the slowly, the terms or the credit terms getting extended. That means, first of all, your ownership gets passed on to him, and it is for you to worry that whether he will make the payment on due date or not. The other part we will examine subsequently. Some more terms of payment are also available. That is called open delivery. This open delivery again is, we can see in the two different angles. One is equated to our local courier delivery. What he does, Amazon and all we quoted, and we have paid the money or something. He will come, knock the door, and he will ask for your identity, Aadhaar card, or some other thing which is proven one, or a mobile checkup and all. Then he will deliver that, taking your signature and go. This is one kind of delivery. So yes, with the export trade. Nowadays, it is quite common that the exporter as well as the buyer wants everything to be in quicker sense. So he will advise you, please send the goods through air cargo. Now, in this situation, what it happens, as soon as you hand over the goods to the air cargo authority, they will issue airway bill. This is not a negotiable instrument. That means whomsoever carries this and proves his identity can be able to take delivery of the goods. Now, in this case, the documents will be raised and you will prepare the documents. It will take some, say, 4 or 5 days time. Then you will submit to your bankers. He will take some another 3-4 days. Then they will send by courier or something. It will reach the buyer's banker. Then subsequently, he will call the buyer. By that time, the goods will already be there in the air cargo. So as soon as you make the shipment, you will scan it and send the airway bill to your buyer. He can rush up there and show his identity, and he can take, he will be able to take delivery of the goods. This is one kind of thing, open delivery. Second instance, the most precious items, the gem and jewelry, diamond in the trade, this open delivery system is existing. As these are very costlier, both the buyer and exporter may not be interested to deal the things in the normal course. So either buyer or the most of the cases, the buyer will come down to India, chooses whatever he wants in the precious item, and particularly in the diamond trade, it is said that one should be very choosy because there are possibility of these fake items or some non-approved items. They can be mixed with that. So he will pick up, then he will write in a paper that I have received diamond worth this much of amount and I will make the payment. This is the receipt, and take the delivery. That is open delivery, openly discuss and take the delivery of the goods along with him. Subsequently, he will make the payment. This is another kind of open delivery. Then comes the way open account. This is how does it differ from the open delivery. In this case, the documents will be received by the buyer from the exporter directly. So yes, the nowadays another trend exists is both the buyer and exporter are not very much interested to involve the exporter bank or the buyer's bank. So they will say, आप export करते हैं, मैं पैसा देने वाला हूँ, documents मुझे direct भेज दीजिए. So why we should involve of course, the payment will be made through the banking channel, but for sending documents, etc., why we should involve them? This is to cutting the cost of the banking charges, informing charges, negotiating charges, etc., etc. So they will make adjustment. The buyer will request, and probably the exporter will also accept that. But remember, as per the RBI directives and the guidelines, all are not eligible to do so. If the exporter is a star export house or experience of shipments with the realization or with the permission of the authorized dealers, that is banks, only eligible to send the document direct to the buyer. Alternatively, if they are eligible, they can request their bankers, who in turn, without bothering the foreign bank, that is buyer's bank, will send the document direct to him. The subsequent clause says that if at all you are eligible and send the documents direct to the buyer, you should submit all the duplicate documents within 21 days from the date of shipment to your banker for following up GR1 obligations. But dear friends, here there may be possibility that in an anxious and in the eager to make good the shipment and gain the order, you may cross this, or you would have not mind to follow this eligibility. Please don't do that. I have got a right example. During this corona period and lockdown period, one of the new exporters was able to prepare to send the document direct to the buyer. He is the new exporter, because that time the bank was not operating fully with the personnel's officials and availability of them. But what happened? No sooner the shipment moved, the government over there has put a ban to receive any goods from India, and particularly that items which he was sending, that was a perishable nature, under any circumstances. Ultimately, it was lying in the port. The port authorities also not allow the exporter to bring back the goods because it is a ban from them. So finally, it got auctioned or abandoned. Something. The buyer was very much interested to make the payment and this thing, but he could not do so. Now, under circumstances, when he was to run pillar and post, even to regularize his transaction, because he is a new exporter, he was not eligible for sending the goods documents direct to the buyer. This happens. So you may also ask, in the process, you may stand to lose certain amount of orders from your buyer, but never mind. But don't fall prey to this thing and ultimately losing your entire goods as well as the payment. So follow the guidelines of RBI very strictly. There are certain other extended short time which is leading to 360 days or 720 days. They are called extended short term. But the other terms are within the things. It can be DA, DP, open account. These are all the main terms of payment. In addition to that, you just remember that there are medium and long term where the payment terms extend 10 to 12 years period, but the payment will be on deferred terms, particularly in the key project, 10 key project or some country project or something. This is being followed. When the tender is floated, you will be applying to it. If you are awarding that project or a partial project, the terms of payment will be always like that. Some 10% or 15% will be made as an advance payment for procurement, and subsequently other 20% will be paid after completion of 25% of the project. The another 10% will be after 2 years. Like that, it will go. This is called deferred terms. This is just for your information. There are something related to this. When the exporting community has asked, what types of payment? They will simply say, TTA, sir, by SWIFT, sir. Okay, this is called mode of payment, that is not terms of payment. So that means it should be either CAD, DP, DA, LC, or advance payment or open account, as the case may be, but not simply DT. DT means the mode. Suppose as soon, let us see the DP. The payment has to be made first, and then the buyer has to take delivery of the goods. He will check up with his banker, and banker will send it through TDR SWIFT. Nowadays, this system is prevalent. So remember that. There are other things added to the LC, supporting to the LC. The bank guarantee will be issued. This is a guarantee letter issued by the bank confirming again about the fact and financials of the buyer, and say it will honor the payment against the LC. It is a supporting document and guaranteeing it. Even in LC also, usance LC, that is 60 days, 90 days, as the case may be, are also available. Now, what are all payment risks? We have seen the payment terms. Now that it can be again divided into two categories. One is political risk, another is commercial risk. If it is political risk, it is pertaining to the country. If it is commercial risk, that is the buyer, again it is divided into two categories. One is affecting by the buyer, the another is affecting by the bank. That is buyer for LC and non-LC transaction, bank for LC transactions. Now, the political so-called country, what are the risks? First of all, the war, civil war, internal disturbances. Let us assume a situation that you have made the shipment and it is sailing on the seas. In between the time, there may be a declaration of war between India and the country of the destination, one situation, or the destination country and the third country, second situation, or within the country of destination itself. Under these circumstances, if war, civil war encrypts and the ship is sailing. Now, by the time it reaches, the ship is prevented from entering to the port of the country of destination. So it will be asked to anchor in the some way away distance. Now it will take some time. So it is a staying detention time. Or in the process, the shipper or shipliner or ship captain may take a decision. I will move around, and subsequently, when the time comes cooling down, I can come and discharge all the goods, unload the goods. So he will take a diversion of voyage. I will come to the point subsequently. So under that circumstances, normally you will be asked to make the payment, or you would have been settled with the shipper and shipper liner to take delivery from your port to the destination port straight route. They will come by the short route or something like that for the charges. This war and civil situation may happen such time that additional charges you may incur, which cannot be recoverable from the buyer because it is not the fault of him. And moreover, while doing the costing, you are doing the expenses, fixed cost, variable cost, and a certain percentage of your profit as per the trade. You would have calculated. You would have never thought to calculate something like that in additional cost. Maybe that is the you have to bear with that. So this is a kind of situation. Now, next come to the another situation, diversion of voyage. Recently, we would have heard the Everliner ship, Ever Given Ship and Evergreen Company, that the ship was blocked the Suez Canal, which is the shortest route, because of which on both the side, 200 and 200 ships each side have been detained. Where then it took some 10 or 12 days time before it could made for the further voyage. By that time, the ships which are detaining at the fag end of the both the sides have determined to take a diversion of the voyage by longer route through African Channel, that is Cape of Good Hope route, which is longer than side. In this situation, they will naturally charge you additional charges for longest route because you have agreed and paid the amount for the straight route. This you did not anticipate while doing the calculation or costing, or subsequently it has been developed. And moreover, this additional cost you cannot get from your buyer. He will say it is your responsibility to make the goods unloaded, then only you take delivery of the car. This situation, diversion of voyage, it is a costing affair for you. These two situations are considered a political risk. Now, there comes the third situation, new import restriction, cancellation of import license. It is always advisable to the exporters at the negotiation stage, please ensure that the buyer has got the valid import license and the particular product which you are exporting is admissible under the law of the land. Okay, now it is okay. Oh, now everything is over. You made the shipment. It is on the seas. It goes. Now, as soon as it reaches, yes, I have given just then an example of this corona. That particular country banned the item from India. Or we can assume a situation that yes, the goods go undelivered, I mean unloaded, the import license of the buyer has got cancelled because of some situation happened to the buyer. He is not in a position to take delivery of the good. It will be unloaded. What you will do? You may have to end up in a total loss even, because he is not in a position to take delivery of the goods. The situation and whatever the additional charges you incur because of this will not be collected or able to collect from the buyer. You have to face it. These are all additional expenses you did not anticipate while doing the costing, etc. Such situation is also called a political or country risk. Now, we all know the invoices are raised in the approved currency rate, authoritative currency, say US dollar, euro, yen, whatsoever. Only when in Iran, we raise it on Indian rupees. There is no problem. Now, there are certain developing countries where, because of the obtaining economic situation, that particular country do not have enough foreign currency, that is dollar or euro, to equate the amount of export or import which you have made. Now, when let us assume that you have raised an invoice for $50,000 and it reaches the country Malaysia. This is for an example only, hypothetical. When it reaches, the buyer in Malaysia will pay it in ringgit only. It is a natural, that is local currency payment he will make. If it is Nigeria, he will make it Naira payment. Now it is for the bank to get equivalent dollar or euro value from their central bank. Now, if the funds are very easily available, they will be allocated that. If not, they have to wait till the central bank allocates the amount. At the most, the buyer will comply all the formalities and the bank will approach the central bank, obtain the token number. And when the token comes, that the sufficient fund equivalent to the dollar or something will be paid to the banker. In turn, it will send to your banker. Now, in the process, it will take some time. One cannot predict it. It depends on the reserves and the amount being accumulated by the foreign nation and the central bank of that particular nation. So, let us assume 4 महीना 5 महीना लग गया. But you cannot find fault with the buyer because he has already made the payment in local currency. Now, country के पास पैसा नहीं तो किसका mistake है? So, in this period, you have to stand at a looser stage because you might have planned for rollovering of the money, or for the delay you have to pay the interest to your bankers because ये payment आएगा तो ये वो equate होएगा. So this kind of risk is called exchange transfer delay risk. One cannot help it. So this is because of the country's problem and not the problem of the exporter or the buyer. You should be ready for this phase. Now, let us move to the other thing, which is called commercial risk. There are very many. We are going to discuss one by one. First of all, the commercial risk on LC transactions. There may be an apprehension or an opinion that LC transaction एकदम safe है. How long it is safe? I also agree. But do you think it is a very safe? I won't agree. See, here I will quote examples. One thing, the bankruptcy or insolvency of the LC opening bank. This can be happen because the diversion of the funds or a fraud transactions or misappropriation of funds or siphoning of the funds. I need not quote example from other countries. In our own country, we have been seeing it. PMC Bank, some other bank and the DHFL, because most of the countries also, these non-banking finance companies are also allowed to do this foreign exchange transactions. So there the proprietorship will be there, the promoter will be there, he will go and he, because of this diversion or fraud activities, the entire bank will become bankrupt or insolvent. Or we are hearing that the particular bank has been put under moratorium by the bank, or some amalgamation of the banks happen. So many things under these situations. If your LC happen to be there, the payment will not be received by you. Particularly if it is becoming bankrupt, then the procedure is there. I do not say completely you then in the process, you may stand to lose little money, or if it can be a complete one. So this persists there in case of NC transaction also. Second situation is protracted default of the LC opening bank. The LC opening bank can default. It can be with the advice of the buyer, in the sense they will join together and they can decide to cheat you. This is the possibility. Or LC opening bank by virtue of its own default. Of course, there are possibility. Yes, we see UCP 600, the international law says, under LC, the responsibility of making payment lies with the LC opening bank. There you can approach the international authorities and put a case against the LC opening bank and can recover the money. But the process is so lengthy. You have to run pillar and post, so many formalities. It will take a considerable time, and finally you will vex to the end that अरे क्या export किया है, because LC transaction सेफ समझ के हम किया, इतना तकलीफ उठाना पड़ा, ऐसा करके वो situation तक ला सकता है. Now another situation is certain discrepancies. That is, the LC rule says any disparity in documents, it can be omission, commission, deletion, or number of copies, can give a time or give a provision for the LC opening bank to refuse the payment. Now let us assume the LC opening raises a dispute. Some ये particular point नहीं है, ये document नहीं है, वो करके immediately they will send that. Then immediately the negotiating bank, your bank will advise you that we have received an advice from the LC opening bank that these are all the fault documents. You have to do it because they are not making the payment. Once it is shown, you will look upon for the buyer. Buyer के पास देखेंगे, buyer बोलेगा तेरा ऐसा बोला क्या, आप एक 2 दिन का टाइम दे दो, I will go and talk to my bankers. He will go to the banker, then he will come and reply. I discuss the issue. Then they say, I also convinced them to agree because I don't want to lose your money. By that time, you would have even taken delivery of the goods also. Now he will say, my bankers say they will charge you $25 or 50 per discrepancy. Let us assume you have faced in that document about 6 discrepancies. Now, again, these discrepancies, they will reduce to that extent per discrepancy rate. Then you may have to agree because at that time, you cannot amend it because shipment is already made. Now, what you will do? You have to agree. This loss, you cannot recover from anybody. It is your own loss. Now, under the transaction, you would have projected an amount of 25% or 30% profit or gain, against which this much amount you have to bear with you. Who will compensate this? Still, if we feel that the LC transaction is safer, we have to think a while. Now, there are certain conditional LC in the reimbursement clause, which may sometimes very poisonous. They will say, on data after making shipment, when you reimbursement, if sufficient funds are equivalent to dollar or this thing is available, then only reimbursement will be made, number one. Or they will say reimbursement will be made by so and so after they confirm that against the quality or the shipment details. These are all various clauses. If the reimbursement clause is there, that is always the thing. That is why whenever as an exporter you receive and agree for LC transaction, at the time when you receive the draft LC, please go through it very scrupulously and find you are in a position to comply all the formalities and the terms mentioned are okay to you, then agree to that. Otherwise, you may, in this process, you may not stand to lose complete payment or sometimes complete, but the risk exists that one has to understand. Now coming to DP transaction. The DP transaction, please remember that I told you the ownership lies with the exporter till the disposal of the goods. Now, the goods go there, it is unloaded, documents reach the buyer's bank, he calls upon the buyer to make the payment. Now, in a business, ups and downs are always there. As soon as it reaches, he will come to say, dear, I am my end users. Now I can make you some part realization, that is part payment. Some 50% मैं pay करता हूँ. Balance pay 50% के लिए, please change the terms into DA and convert it. That is conversion of the term from DP pay करता हूँ. बाकी 50% you pass on your ownership to me by allowing me to take delivery of the goods. I will make the payment after 90 days. This is one situation. And another thing, it can be for full realization. That means अभी प्रॉब्लम आए तो फाइनेंस क्रंच आएगा तो पूरा पेमेंट के लिए भी आ सकता है. They will say मेरे पास अभी पैसा नहीं, आप एक काम करो, मैं माल ले लेता हूँ, I will sell it in the local market, and after that 90 days I will make the payment. So he will ask you to convert the terms from DP to DA. Now it is for you, once you accept to that, then it is for you to wait till he makes the payment. You have passed on the ownership and allowed him to take delivery of the goods. Now, yes, goes nearby, वो goods उधर पड़ा है. He is not reluctant to take delivery of the goods. आप उसको पीछे पड़ रहा है. Then he will say, देखिए इधर मेरा neighbor है, who has taken goods from a China buyer. He has got it for a very lesser rate. आपका रेट इतना हाई फाई था, तो अभी मुश्किल है. But I don't want to cheat or stand to lose your this thing. But एक compromise करेंगे. मेरे को can you make discount to the extent of 25%? I will then make the payment and take delivery of the goods. Now the situation is, आप उधर माल गया है, क्या करेंगे? So you will think of it. So you will be cornered in such a way that you have to agree for 25%. In which case the 25% is your loss. आपका total costing से उतना कट करता है. So, but at the same time other charges will remain same. You have to bear with that. This discount is a loss. Now, even he is not ready to take the delivery of the goods with the discount amount. He says that your amount is so high-fi, I don't want your goods. आपसे मेरे को business भी नहीं करना है. आपको जो करना है कर लो. Because the ownership is with you, you have to take immediately arrangement to safeguard the goods first. What you will do? बाजू में जो है करके, you will find a warehouse for rent. So you have to pay the rental charges, and you have to make the demurrage charges for that so long it is lying in the port. ये additional charges आपको incur करना है, कोई नहीं पे करेगा. That is called the demurrage and warehouse rental charges. Okay, चलो ओके, कुछ कर दिया rental warehouses में, ship liner से help लेके वो कर दिया है. Now what the alternate you can do? You can find an alternate buyer to resell the goods. That alternate buyer may be available in the same country or in the neighboring country. Let us assume. Now, let us assume that एक alternate buyer आपने find out कर दिया. How alternate buyer को मालूम है, देखिए, the originally the concern is someone else, because it is concerned to somebody else. He will naturally may not accept the entire value. He will say मैं पूरा value नहीं दे सकता हूँ, आपको मेरा दोस्ती का खातिर मैं लेना रेडी हूं, but you have to give me certain discount, again the 25% discount or the 30% discount. He will ask. Next he will say, cash भी मेरे पास रेडी नहीं है, I may not be in a position to make cash payment and take delivery. I want use and stamps. Please allow me to take delivery of the goods with the discount. I will make the payment after 90 days, 120 days, as the case may be. So your question of selling the product, getting extended in other direction, which you have not planned. That is discount with resale to alternate buyer, and that too for use and stamps. Now again, if the alternate buyer is found in another country, a neighboring country, then he will say that deliver mera country destination mein karo. Then you have to pay these rental charges, demurrage charges, plus the loading charges, and unload it to the new destination, the new charges. So these are all an additional expenses which cannot be claimed or recovered from the alternate buyer or original buyer, as the case may be. So आप जो एंटिसिपेट किया उसका एडिशनल चार्ज बढ़ते रहते हैं. ये क्या अल्टरनेटिव कुछ नहीं है आपके पास ये तो करना ही है, डिस्पोज करना ही है, बिकॉज यू आर द ओनर. नाउ वो भी नहीं पॉसिबल हुआ, अल्टरनेट बायर नहीं मिला, डिस्काउंट के लिए नहीं मिला, नेबरिंग कंट्रीज में नहीं मिला, क्या करेंगे? सो you can think of bringing back the goods or import the goods to India at your own cost. Now, for that again, you have to make the payment of warehouse and rental charges, demurrage charges. Then only they will allow you to bring back it. And in certain countries, the rule says that you should obtain NOC from the original consignee. Then only the country will allow you to take delivery of the goods or bringing back the goods. Now, वो पहले ही payment नहीं दिया, whether is it possible for you to obtain from him an NOC? Okay, this is also an obstacle in that. Now, in the process, अब अदर सोचना है, अभी लेके आया, क्या करेंगे? लोकल सेल्स में करेगा या लोकल सेल्स में करना पड़ेगा तो उसको मॉडिफाई करना पड़ेगा. These are all the cost factor. Whether this will be fetching you any additional amount or will compensate your price, costing price, that is a question again. So these are all the complexity. The buyer is not available. You have to bring back the goods, and by taking the permission of the original consignee, by payment of demurrage, warehouse rental charges, etc. Now, in the process, sometimes it so happens the demurrage and other charges go to the extent which sometimes crosses the invoice value. वो उतना इनवॉइस वैल्यू का ऊपर पैसा देके ये सब भर के रिटर्न लाएगा, एडिशनल एक्सपेंसेस लेके. अरे जाने दो यार, कौन करेगा? सो इन दिस प्रोसेस माल का माल भी गया, पैसा का पैसा भी गया. सिचुएशंस in the escalates, decelerates. वो क्या कर सकता है? Now, if you are not paying that, what they will do? Auctioning the goods. The country. There are countries where they have laid down rules that if the goods are not taken delivery or disposed of within a number of days, they themselves, the authorities will themselves put into auction, adjust the warehouse and other demurrage charges towards that. So total loss हो गया. So ये गया, इतना कोशिश करके आप एक्सपोर्टर बने, शिपमेंट किए, क्या फायदा क्या है? Now, it can happen in the process, you are leading to an abandonment, that is total loss. कैसा हो सकता है? See, the chemicals and agro products, although you are having enough facility for packaging, etc., refrigerator or freezing, etc., उसको सेल्फ लाइफ जो बोलता है वो पर्टिकुलर टाइम तक होता है. If it has not been disposed of, either by way of by taking delivery by the original buyer or selling to an alternate buyer or bringing back the goods, etc., if it is possible, not possible, then कैसे सेल्फ लाइफ करके उसको जो एक्सपायरी हो गया यार, डीके हो गया, वो माल इधर लाके क्या करेंगे आप? So you will ultimately take a call and say, allow it to abandon it, completely goods loss. Nobody will compensate it. It is your loss. So the entire transaction goes bluff, and you have to make other expenses which you have normally done for your other exports. Okay. Now, coming to DA transactions. This is the ownership passed on to the buyer. You are no more owner of this. There is no choice. In case of DP, there have been choices available for you to dispose of the goods. In here case, it may not be. Now, let us assume the same situation. The buyer bolta hai, after let us say the DA 90 days is the payment. So by 80th day or something, you will simply put an email. Dear friend, how are you? The payment come to falls due on such and such date. I hope everything are okay and we will be able to make the payment on due date. Now he will also give a reply. Dear friend, I was expecting my money from the end users. It is getting delayed. So I may not be in a position to make the 100% payment. I may take part realization, that is थोड़ा payment दे देता हूँ. बाकी payment के लिए please extend the longer terms of payment or due date. That is अभी 50% मैं payment दे देता हूँ due date में, balance payment के लिए मेरे को another 3 months time दे दीजिए. So you have to say yes. What is alternative? उसके पास पैसा नहीं बोलता है. But this may happen also for full payment. Again we will say part realization भी नहीं दे सकता हूँ, पूरा पेमेंट का ड्यू डेट एक्सटेंड करो. Then 90 days से आप वेट करके देखा, अभी another 90 days you have to wait whether he will make the payment or not. Now in this process, the extending due date leads to protracted default. Finally, it may also happen that my payment नहीं दूंगा, मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है, छोड़ दो, बस. Just like that, it is a protracted default. Now, दूसरा situation, in this case again, you will lose. Goods का goods माल तो गया, वो वापरेला है, use किया है, gain profit earn किया होगा, लेकिन you are at the loss because you have to make the payment to your bankers and other charges. And yes, I have said that by making the shipment through air cargo, the goods will reach well in advance before the documents reach the banker. Let us assume a situation that you are entering into a contract that paisa de do, maal le lo, that is DP transaction. Now he insists that the goods should be delivered through air cargo. You are ready for that. Now in this process, what is in the normal way he has to do? As soon as the airway bill is received, he has to make the payment at the banker's counter, then he will have to take delivery of the goods. Please remember what I have said open delivery. By showing his identity, he will be able to take delivery of the goods because airway bill is not an negotiable instrument. Because as soon as the shipments are done, you have to prepare the documents, submit the documents to your bankers. They will take 3-4 days time. It will reach the buyer's banker another 4-5 days time. In the process, on third day goods udhar chala gaya, he will be managed to take delivery of the goods. What is the what is the use that you are asking him to make the payment and take delivery? It is against of that. So in this situation, always exporters are advised to consign that to bank with an advice after making payment by the buyer, giving them no objection so that he will go and take delivery of the goods. So this is enough. So before the entire documents go, if the situation arises, the banker will receive the payment against those things. You can send it to them through the email or something through your banker, and so he will manage that. Please remember this situation. Please don't allow it to happen. And it is always better to obtain proof of taking delivery and confirmation from the buyer through mail or correspondence. Remember, friends, nowadays we are so much acquainted with other areas of communication, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, etc. But those are messages received or are not recognized for document purpose still. So we have to rely on normal correspondence, either the thing which is for this thing, time delaying. So mail correspondence always please develop and make a documentation that will help you for this thing. Yes, I have told you the extension in longer terms that we have seen. Now, another situation is on that date, due date, he will come and again he will say, the amount which you have quoted, which I have taken from you is far, far high. Comparing my neighbor received the same goods at a low cost from a Chinese buyer or some other country's buyer. Yours is a very, very high amount, but I don't want to lose your business. So let us compromise. Can you please give me some discount? 20% discount दे दो, my balance payment due date में दे देता हूँ. Again he will say 20% discount दे दो, again 50% अभी देता हूँ, बाकी 50% another 3 months के बाद दूंगा. Complication of the situations. Now do you have any choice? नहीं दूंगा डिस्काउंट करके, वो बोलेगा जो टोटल पेमेंट भूल जाओ. So you will be cornered in such a way to agree for that. So yes, with another situation, which is called offer for distress settlement after usage of goods. That means he has already utilized the goods. He would have probably received the money also from this thing. But in your case, he does not want to make 100% payment. He will say, आपका डीलिंग इतना खराब हो गया है, आपका माल में ऐसा है तो आई एम नॉट एबल टू अचीव व्हाट द प्रॉफिट आई एम्ड वाज, सो आई विल गिव यू 75% once for all, मैं दे देता हूं ये पर्टिकुलर कंसाइनमेंट के लिए, फुल एंड फाइनल सेटलमेंट ये ले लो. नेक्स्ट कंसाइनमेंट में वी विल नेगोशिएट एंड अकॉर्डिंगली वी डू और वी विल कॉम्पनसेट दैट. और गुस्से में भी बोल सकता है ये आप ना और मेरा बिजनेस ही बंद कर देंगे, इसका जो पैसा है मैं 70% देता हूं, once for all we will close our trade. Situation may anything, but in the process आपको जो अगेन 30% लॉस, 70% डिस्काउंट, मतलब 30% डिस्काउंट होगा तो उतना लॉस है. Nobody will compensate that. You cannot claim and you do not have any other choice. उनके पास ना नहीं बोल नहीं सकता है, because the payment is in the grip of the buyer. आपको सलाह मारना पड़ेगा, अरे जो पैसा मिलता है ले ले. और sometimes it so happen the insolvency principles, because of the same reasons, proprietorship, private company, because of misuse of the funds, the company may declare insolvent. In this case, total माल भी गया, पैसा भी गया. There may be procedure that you have to approach the insolvent trustee or the official liquidator, and your debt should be recognized by them. It should be listed for payment, and the payment may not be equivalent to what you have raised in the invoice. So many complications. Finally, it is a loss. Now, there is another situation, a partial situation, quality dispute and counterclaim. ये वेरी वेरी डेंजरस सिचुएशन. अभी माल ले लिया उसने, बाद में बोलेगा पेमेंट टाइम में, सर आप जो माल भेजा है मैं जो कोट किया ये सेम क्वालिटी नहीं था, ये इंफीरियर स्टैंडर्ड था, आई एम नॉट एबल टू सेल इट, वो सब अभी तक इसमें पड़ा है, मैं व्हाट आई कैन डू इट, नथिंग कैन बी डन. सो टोटल लॉस. That is why always it is advised that whenever you enter into an agreement, please ensure if the goods require a quality certificate, please ask him to appoint an authority here, SGS and all, whose certificate is acceptable to him, or whatever quality certificate you issue as an exporter should be acceptable to him, to avoid that, because the quality dispute is a risk nobody can save you from. Added to that, there is a counterclaim in the recent past also I come across. This is attaching the other shipment for the current shipment. That is, if you are doing a series of shipment on credit terms to a buyer, let us assume 5 shipment गया उसको payment बराबर आया, 6 shipment आया उसको payment नहीं आया. There may be possibility that in 6th shipment there is really a quality dispute which you would have agreed to compensate him, either replacing the goods or adjusting it to in a subsequent shipment. One situation. Or you might have gone a visit, or your company representative gone on a visit to him. During that time, you would have spent some money for your entertainment and all, which you would have agreed, or he want that to be recovered from you. So what he will do is, he will attach that part of claim with the present shipment, which is called counter claim. That is, whatever you propose for the current shipment, you are raising your money, seeking your money for payment, against which he will put a counter claim saying that for such and such shipment, the quality was inferior, or you have to pay me this much amount, I will adjust this against this amount, this shipment value. So this is the counterclaim. Under these two situations, the onus to prove that you are not at fault remains with you as an exporter. Beware of this. So you have to tackle these situations. Now, this is, I don't want to explain further. The commonly in USA, insolvency is very, very common. We are thinking that USA exports and all these things are very easy whatsoever. Sorry, making sim and all, one should be aware of it. So, dear friends, there are certain risks which are not considered to be export risk or credit risk. One should be well versed this thing. Non-fulfillment of contractual obligations by exporter, including quality dispute. That means you should be aware of these. What are all the necessary things you have to take care of, and quality part you have to take care of. Nobody will come because these are all not risk at all. And if your agent fails, the collecting agent or your bank fails to send the documents, etc., that will not be considered an export risk. I have good example that recently in the held in the Corona time, the documents have been given to the banker. It is DP payment. The buyer was not in a position to make the payment because the documents have not been received by the banker, his banker. It came to know only after a year time that by somehow the exporter forgot to follow or failure to follow, and the buyer is also not thought of it remaining them, and it found that after some time that वो जो documents दिया है इधर बैंक में उधर ऐसा के वैसा उनका टेबल में पड़ा है. It is still lying there. Now it is whose mistake? Of course, it is the agents, that is the negotiating bank. So who will bear the loss? Nobody will. You have to go with the bank and put a case only. Or failure to buy and obtain necessary approvals for imports. As I said, if the ban or if sorry, the import license has been cancelled of the buyer, you should be ready to face it and do the necessary things for safeguard the goods. Nobody will compensate it. Where the goods are in inherent nature, you have to take adequate steps and safeguard for the packing, etc. And this exchange fluctuation 6, you would have thought of it, the hedging procedure and all. For goods loss, you have to go for marine insurance. So, dear friends, considering all the facts, one may be afraid to do the business in export. अरे इतना करके हम लोग export करके क्या फायदा है? Don't worry at all. Here somebody says you focus on export, we cover the risk. Yes, dear, the ECGC, the Export Credit Guarantee, a government of India, they say all risks are covered by the government insurer. Of course, there are private players also there. One can have them. ICICI Lombard, SBI General Insurance, Tata IG, and the National Insurance Shield. They are available. But to my knowledge, I am not propaganda for this. This is a government organization, and there are certain facilities which are extended by them other than that are provided by the private players. Now, so you go ahead with the doing export, forgetting gear, but remain that these are all risks will come across in your export business. To introduce about ECGC, it is with 63 years of successful operations. They have got paid up capital of 2,860 crores, and they are having 60 branches. Though they are having the reorientation and merger of certain banks to see that one branch is available in one state at least. Now, let us move to the products that are available to you. It depends on your requirement. There are many products available. Normally, for the new exporter or the one exporter, it is always advisable to go for standard policy whole turnover. That is, initially, after you have filled up the form, you have to submit all documents which are necessary for KYC and certain information which are necessary for them, like your turnover and all. They will process it, and initially they may require minimum 10,000 rupees as advance to comply with the IRDA regulations. Then that 10,000 rupees may say shipment के सामने जो premium deduct करना है, it will get deducted, and you have to make on the deposit there. And if your turnover is much more, they may also demand more that amount. So if you are small exporters where the turnover is or anticipated turnover is not more than 5 crore, you can go for this small exporters policy. But once you take any of these policies, according to your this thing, all the risks which we have been discussing will stand covered. You need not worry. Just make the shipment, declare them, be happy. So if you want to go for only specific shipment or particular shipment भी cover करना है, you can go for that. आप बड़ा बड़ा turnover है, you can go for export turnover policy. और एक ही buyer है आपके पास, उनके पास घड़ी घड़ी shipment करना पड़ता है, you can go for single buyer exposure policy. और buyer wise आपको चाहिए, you can go for buyer wise policy. आप IT related का goods choose करते हैं, you are having 3 types of policy for that. Or if you have registered under MSME, you can get a micro exporter policy. और आपके पास कई कंपनीज है, सबका कवर एक ही अम्ब्रेला पॉलिसी में कवर करना है, यू कैन डिस्कस विद देम और सबका टोटल टर्नओवर क्या करके करके दे विल डिजाइन इट फॉर यू एक्सक्लूसिवली, व्हिच इज कॉल्ड tailor made policy they will issue. So these are all the various policies available. You can utilize it and to cover the things. And I will now give you what are all the benefits if you take the policy. First and foremost, it is an insurance protection against payment risk mitigation. But remember, including LC discrepancy. This is the only organization which provide insurance cover, credit risk insurance policy covering LC discrepancy. No private players will do that. And it also acting as a guidance to export related activities, and you will get country profile data with credit ratings. Also, these activities are being handled by the export promotion till extent. This organization also does that. Then information on credit worthiness of the overseas player. This is an important thing. This is not available with any other private players. As soon as you become the policy holder, they will provide you with a password. Then from that, you can access their website and find out whether the particular buyer is available in normal list or adverse list, whether he has defaulted to anybody else before that. So let us assume you are negotiating with a buyer now and you have applied for the ECGC policy and you have taken the policy. Obtain your password and go with that. At the negotiating itself, put the name and country, it will appear. No name is found. If it comes, that is, he has not defaulted and he has relied upon. So at least to the extent of 50%, you rest assured he is a good buyer. Then you can further negotiate it. Or if he is defaulted, his name will appear. This is the name. So it is a caution that you should not deal on credit terms with him, or you avoid dealing with him. Already he has defaulted. This kind of information is available only with ECGC. And hassle-free expansion of business, and sector is a preferred sector as far as banking channel is concerned for lending you loans, advances for export transactions. So if you go there without any problem, you will get the working capital. Normally, when you go for that, they will ask for so many securities. They will call it as collateral securities. आपके पास LIC है क्या, surrender value करो, building है क्या, mortgage करो, FD है क्या, तो final वो realization value आपको mortgage करो. These are all the various complications they will say. But if you say that here I have a credit insurance coverage policy, sometimes they may give up asking you complete collateral security. Yeah, you can negotiate for reducing the amount of collateral security. This is a good weapon for you. And in foreign trade policy, there is a mention about ECGC under para 2.54 and also in the handbook 2.85, which says that if you get the payment of claim under ECGC policy or other credit insurance policy, then you will be eligible to get all benefits as if the payment is realized. That is the MEIS. Now it is not there, it is already repelled. Now this ROTTDL and other things. Yes, sir. Yes, go on. So many things are there. It is benefit to you. Last but not least is now, when there is a list, exporters list, bank will report to RBI. Again, this exporter is not received. Again, this shipment like that, they will prepare an NPA list and exporter list. Or if you happen to take the claim, and subsequently the claim payment will be made to your banker's account, that means it is equivalent to receipt of money. Your name will not be published in NPA list or in the exporters list. So, dear friend, there are certain benefits you can derive by taking any credit insurance policy and particularly ECGC policy. Here I stop my presentation and leave the floor for question and answers.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the
Thank
wonderful question.
Thank
So people got afraid in between.
you.
Some they could not follow your Hindi. Sorry.
Oh.
Yes. So anyway, you will be getting the understanding, I hope. So now this is your time for any question answers. So let us take the questions. Okay, Damian. Okay, Kalyan Krishnan. Kalyan Krishnan, you can unmute.
Yeah. Kalyan Krishnan.
Yeah, actually, my question was on the same context where Mr. Kumar had said, if I make the shipment from here and then before the shipment gets landed and the country bans that item, then what will the exporter do?
You got the solution.
I'm still, I'm not, can I explain it again, please?
What is the question? Can you please repeat?
My goods which has got shipped.
You have shipped it. Okay.
Yeah. Before it reaches the destination, the country has banned that particular item.
Yes.
Yeah. You had explained this, but I think I forgot that.
No problem. See, now, so far yet the goods are not delivered and falls in the hands of the buyer. First of all, let us see what is the terms of payment. Irrespective of that, if it is there, you can think of bringing back the goods immediately. Instruct the shipper that don't unload it on the destination, please revert it. You pay the charges whatsoever and inform the insurance, that ECGC people, that this is the thing happen, I am doing it, get the approval. So once you bring back the goods, claim the things from the ECGC.
Okay.
Yeah. It is the best thing to mitigate the loss. Your claim will be favorably considered.
Okay, next.
Damian.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Sasikumar.
Yeah.
Hi. So my question was, if in case we ship goods to a particular party in some other country and the goods have been rejected by the party because of some quality issues. So in this case, the obviously the party is not going to pay us for that for these goods, and what all documents we need to submit for this exports to the bank if the payment is not going to receive, like we are not going to get the payment like from the client. So what are the documents in this case we need to submit to the bank that we are not going to get any payment because the goods were damaged, or whether the goods was not accepted by the client for so and so XYZ reason?
I will react to it one by one. You are making complicated situations. Number first, what is the terms of payment? DA or DP?
So this is like half advance, no, full payment once the goods are received.
That means he will make the payment and take delivery of the goods?
Yes.
Now, if that is there, goods will be going there. Whatever you advance received, let us forget it. You have received it. The balance payment, you raise the invoice and you will be receiving it from the buyer. The terms of payment DP means he has to make the payment and take delivery of the goods. Now the situation is he can refuse to make the payment. One situation.
Correct.
Okay. In that case, you are having alternative either to find an alternate buyer or to bring back the goods or selling to the alternate by the neighboring country, as the case may be, because you are the owner of the goods.
Correct.
This is one situation. Okay. Now, second situation, DA. That means goods will be taken delivery by the buyer. Okay.
Correct.
Now, once he consumes it, he raises subsequently a quality dispute,
Correct.
raising it. Now, if it is an appropriate time where he finds out really there was a quality dispute, you have to discuss with him, negotiate with him, compensate with him, arrive at a conclusion what are the action to be taken. You may this thing, I will replace it to a certain extent, or you will compromise it that next shipment I will make more shipment but lesser value, etc. So see, these are the things negotiation you have to take. Now, after utilizing it, at the due date, he raises quality dispute. That may be a reason to cheat you, to deceive you for making payment. That is the point where you can prove that the quality is as per his indication, as per the agreement which has been signed. That if you prove that you are not at a default, then you can get the claim from the insurer. This is the situation. The documents are, what are the documents you have to submit is all the normal documents which are prepared along with the post shipment or the simple documents. And along with that, the quality certificate to prove that you have shipped the goods which are in line with his order or in the copy of the confirmation.
No, even if we, yeah, sorry, one more question for the linking the same. Like if
let us give the chance to others because
so
there
this
are
is
many
the
other
same.
participants.
Kavin,
Next.
Kavin
Yeah,
Prasad.
please.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Hello, sir. So my
Yeah.
question is that you said that marine insurance is must for shipping. In the case of FCA, FAS, or FOB Incoterms, who will take care of insurance?
See, you might have taught the Incoterms. A few terms are favorable to exporter, a few terms are favorable to buyer.
FCA, yes, no need to take the insurance by you. Not worry. Buyer will take care of it.
In that case, he will take.
Next question.
Yatin Arora.
Yeah, please
All right.
go ahead.
My question is every buyer is eligible for the ECGC insurance? Because, let's say if the buyer is very small, or probably we have a very small transaction of 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs. So in that case, are we eligible for the ECGC insurance?
See, once ECGC is taken, it is covering all the shipments, irrespective of the value, being made for 1 year. The policy is issued for a year. It is a whole turnover basis. So irrespective of the amount, all the buyer is eligible to get covered. All the amount, all the shipments will be eligible to get covered.
Understand that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening. My question to you is a real-time thing which happened for my export to Saudi Arabia. They have a standard of called SABR in which they state certain laws or the clauses for the import of engineering materials into their country. And the payment terms is TT. The buyer has sent the payment. The material has left the port, and during the transit, the government of Saudi Arabia has changed the SASO terms. And on arrival in the port of Saudi Arabia, Tamam, the government says this consignment cannot be cleared because it does not compile with the laws or the SASO certification given by SGS. So there was a big quarrel between the local buyer with the government. They have to go for another certification, and there were a lot of demurrage charges which was incurred. Does ECGC cover these costs incurred by the buyer? Because invariably I was charged the next consignment for the difference of amount. So if I cover this under ECGC, will I be covered for this, sir?
See, first of all, you should understand before you make the shipment, what are all the rules and regulations of the land, you should understand, as well as the buyer has to be prepared and to be ready to take delivery of the goods, and what are all his the conditions prevailing in this country, he should uh, comply with that. If he is not there, if the country requires a particular certificate and all, at the most, if it is to be given at your end, you may help them. Otherwise, it is for him to do that. Now,
No.
in this case, let me come to the point. If he is not doing, it is his fault. Fine. Now,
Sorry,
the
sir.
goods
Sorry,
are
sorry,
in the,
sorry. You have misunderstood. Let me clarify that.
Ah.
It was done as per the SASO or the cyber certification, and SGS has given us the certification. After the consignment has left the port in Cochin, the law of the land has changed.
Okay.
31st January, the material has left India.
Okay.
And on 1st February, the government of Saudi Arabia has changed the particular product specification. They have changed.
Okay. Yes, that is what I am telling. See, that has been changed. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, within a reasonable time, whether he will be in a position to dispose it off or get the certificate and dispose it off, that you have to find. Ultimately, if it goes such a way that he is not able to think, immediately report to the exporter, because of this situation, I am bringing back the goods. You can get the thing, get the approval, and once approved, it will stand covered.
Fine. Thank you.
Jagadish.
Sir, my question is, what is the difference between LC?
Yeah, speak loudly, sir. I'm not able to hear. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, my question is, what is difference between LC and payment against documents?
See, LC is a letter of credit opened by the LC opening bank, where the payment responsibility is of the LC opening bank. Whether you make the shipment or whether the buyer receives the shipment, it is not a condition. You have to make the shipment or you have to submit all those documents which are mentioned in the LC. If you submit it and find in order, they will immediately reimburse on it. Number DP means the payment responsibility lies with the buyer, who has to make the payment and subsequently take delivery of the goods. Clear?
Okay, thanks.
Jukraj.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Hello. My
Yeah,
name is,
yeah.
good evening, sir. My question is that.
Speak loudly, sir.
My question is that when goods are dispatched on the LC basis, whether we have to, when the goods are exported on LC basis, when goods are exported on LC basis, whether we have to take the ECGC policy or not.
See, that is up to you. They have the choice. LC transaction are to be covered or not. I have explained you certain LC risks. आप एंटिसिपेट नहीं करेंगे, प्राइम बैंक है, ऐसा करेगा तो आप कर सकते हैं. बट अगेन वो एलसी टू एलसी आप चॉइस जाएंगे, उसमें प्रीमियम रेट बढ़ जाएगा, देन दे मे नॉट कवर दैट एलसी आल्सो. तो ये कवर लेके एलसी कवर लेगा तो होल टर्नओवर में सब बैंक को कवर मिल जाएगा. चॉइस इज दैट. एलसी ट्रांजैक्शन कवर करना नहीं करना आपका मर्जी.
नहीं, वो तो मर्जी तो है, लेकिन फिर भी बेटर कौन सा है? मतलब बेटर जो है, मतलब एलसी कवर करना अच्छा है कि नहीं है?
ठीक है, एक्सपीरियंस है. आप कौन सा कंट्री में कर रहे हैं, अभी सिर्फ एलसी कौन सा कंट्री से आपको रिसीव हो सकता है, उसका बेसिस पे भी आप निर्णय ले सकते हैं. अभी बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, इधर सब एलसी वगैरह लेगा तो इट इज ऑलवेज एडवाइजेबल टू गो फॉर एलसी कवर. और प्राइम कंट्रीज में यूएसए, यूके में तो एलसी हार्डली मिलेगा या फर्स्ट 2 ट्रांजैक्शन में मिलेगा, समथिंग लाइक दैट. इट डिपेंड्स आपका कौन सा कंट्री से आप डीलिंग करना चाहते हैं, उसका हिसाब से चॉइस चूज कर सकते हैं.
लेकिन एलसी कवर करना अच्छा है.
अच्छा है, अच्छा है.
इससे रिस्क कम होगा.
या
थैंक यू सर.
Sadanand.
Hello, sir.
Host, I'm not getting a chance even I'm in line.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir. Thank you very much for your
Some
sir,
crossing voices are there.
I don't know.
Tell me.
So thank you very much for your nice presentation.
Thank you.
The only now risk factor that insurance, ECGC is insurance, what you are talking about, when we go on for the covering up insurance for this risk factor, the importer, the defaulter, whether is a defaulter or is a nice fellow, that time we are going to come to know that. So can we, before dealing with him, can we able to find out the importer, the credibility of the importer?
Yeah, that is why I told, if you become the ECGC policy holder,
okay,
they will immediately give you a password and all. In website, you can check it up whether his name is appearing in their default list. They call it adverse list. उसमें होगा तो उनको नाम आ जाता है adverse list करके.
Means
it is a caution signal.
Yes, better member of ECG.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Vishwendra Singh.
Hello. Host, hi. Sorry to interrupt all. Host, you're forgetting me. I'm in the queue. You have unmuted me for almost 3 to 4 minutes earlier itself, but you're not giving me a chance. Just a reminder. And even please turn on the chat.
No, sir. Some disturbance is there. Your voice. Can you please?
I know who is this.
Sir, this is Ashar Ali. You have unmuted me for a long time, but you're not giving me a chance.
What?
Shira, this is Ashar. You have given me a chance to speak.
Sir, please ask the question, sir. Okay, please ask, sir.
Tell me, sir. Please come. Yeah.
Sir, my name is Arshad. Sir, I like your way of teaching with your lows and highs in your voice. And I really like the way of you mixing up Hindi and telling as if the buyer would tell at our face. Jo karna hai, kar le, kind of things. I really love that your way of teaching, sir. Sir, my question is, if I missed something, you please correct me. Sir, if I fulfill all the document conditions mentioned, that even the customer, my buyer comes and accepts the documents and takes the documents, how would the bank would entertain him for negotiating payment terms even after he accepts the documents?
Can you repeat it? Sorry, some voice disturbance comes to me.
Sir, are you clear now?
Tell me. See, you are making shipments on LC, correct? Hello.
We missed you, Arshad Ali.
Sir.
Okay, we'll get with the next person, Vishwendra Singh.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Sir, my question is this. If let's suppose I have a product which cost me 100 rupees and I add the profit of 25% and I want to sell it at 125 rupees at the price. And in the ECGC coverage, what will be the coverage will I get? Will it be including the profit? Will I get the 125 rupees, or if it will be different like the insurance of a car where the valuation is different?
It depends on the post shipment invoice value, gross invoice value.
Okay.
Whatever amount you mentioned, that will be the risk coverage. They will honor it if any of the risk materializes. 90% of the gross invoice value, they will settle it in Indian rupees.
So, sir, by this, most of the people who are doing ECGS, they must have been over invoicing.
See, that is not a context. The ECGC is concerned that what is the amount mentioned in your gross invoice value will stand covered.
And sir, one small question more. Which is the best suitable mode of payment you suggest?
See, it depends, because if you are a first and foremost exporter, since the situation does not call for the advance payment and all, you can negotiate it some 25% or 50% advance payment for first two transaction, or go slow by slow, first DP, then DA. Likewise, slowly you can go. Or if very much your buyer is insisting only for DA, there is a provision in that if you take the approval of the ECGC for DA transaction. If they give DA transaction is clear, then you go for DA. No problem. Because risk is covered by them. You have to make the shipment. That's all.
As per your experience, whenever the first exporter is doing his export, he gets LC so easily, or it is an hard task?
It depends on negotiations, sir. It is not common to anyone and everybody. Suppose your buyer is very adamant that he will accept only credit terms, say DA. You have to make, you cannot lose the chance. So in that case only this credit insurance come into being. In the sense, you can apply it well in advance about the buyer. So it is a separate application has to be made on the buyer and get their approval that you can approximately say that for a year turnover will be with him for a 50 lakhs. You can initially take 50 lakhs DA terms approval from ECGC. Once it is there, DA terms is covered. So DA terms covered means DP transaction is covered. So you can go ahead, even you can go first shipment itself for a DA transaction.
With the help of ECGC. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Anshuman.
Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, please.
Thank you very much for the knowledge, sir.
Yeah.
One question is, what is the so suppose in a situation I have finalized the cost with the buyer, okay, and now I have to send a sample, but now you know the call. I don't know. I don't want to waste my time on a person who may not be a very credible source. So in that condition, how can I verify is it only ECGC? When should I approach ECGC, sir? What is the right time during the transaction to approach
I
them?
will advise, as soon as you plan your company and got your IEC code, immediately go and apply for ECGC. It is issued for 1 year. That policy is issued for 1 year. Whatever deposit premium they collect will remain intact in your account. Now you go for negotiation. Once the negotiation itself starts, first find out that buyer is not in their adverse list in the ECGC. Then immediately put an application by payment of application fee of 500 rupees. Then ask for a credit limit. Say some DA limit for 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs, as the case may be, how much you are anticipating within the deal. That can subsequently also get it enhanced or increased, no problem. So immediately apply for a DA limit on that particular buyer. They will call for the report, or they have certain process, and they will say, we are approving this much of amount, say 50 lakhs DA 90 days on this buyer. Once it comes, you need not bother anything. You just make the shipment either DP or DA and negotiate it within the 50 lakhs, you can do it. Yes, days go by. If you gain experience, you can get it enhanced that amount, 50 lakhs to do 2 crore, 3 crore, like that also.
So it's like a membership, sir, for 1 year?
Yeah, it is a member, policy holder.
Okay. And quality is something which they are not very, as in helpful with. Quality is something which still lies as a risk between the buyer and the seller only.
See, in case of the quality dispute, no insurer in the world will support the insured. Now it is for the insured to prove that he is not at guilty and the buyer is only defaulted.
Yes. So the payment terms have to be very clear.
And prove with it. Once this is done, then they will also consider, because of quality dispute, the claim settlement. There are many claims. Even I have settled so many claims because of this.
Okay, so basically our quality talks and terms and conditions in terms of quality should be very clear right in the beginning.
Exactly. That is why I want to impress upon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mahesh Jagannathan.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for your presentation. I just want to understand the pricing structure of ECGC. I mean, for example, if I'm going to do in a year like 50 lakhs to 1 crore of a business, how it will be done? You have mentioned about the credit limit, establishments, all these things. Just explain a little bit on this, sir. That would be useful.
See, in that case, when you approach them, they require this proposal form, which contains KUC norms and other certain data. What is your anticipated turnover? If you have made any previous shipments, whether it is on LC terms, DP terms, certain data they will ask. Even if you do not have readily this thing, approximation will do. It will not harm. They will not question, or they are not going to question at the end of the thing, you have not completed this thing. They will not raise that question. It is to fix how much amount to be underwritten. So based on your export turnover, say that 10 crore you are anticipating in this year, then 10 crore policy they will provide. This is umbrella cover, which will cover all the buyers, all the shipments in the year, in 1 year. Right? Now, subsequently, based on your negotiation, you can take a separate cover on the buyer, each and every buyer, again with them, how much turnover you would like to do, on what terms of payment, say DA, DP, etc. Then you can apply it and get the approval. Okay.
Yeah.
Any more doubt on this particular point?
Yeah, quickly.
Gagandeep.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm Gagan from Lucknow, sir. Sir, there are basically two questions. One is, a part of this question was cleared in the previous question. The thing is, if my consignment is on DP basis, and after it reaches there is any dispute, maybe my buyer is not genuine, or he causes any problem, he says, give me 25% discount, and I agree on to it at that time, there is loss of 25%. Will ECGC cover that 25% loss?
Now I will pose the question. Now you are at a disposal. See, first of all, they will say the original buyer, why he wants 25% discount now? Because it is as per the orders, it is agreed. Now in this process, they may advise the dusra buyer ko dhoond lo. Yeah, these are all the various options to you. But if there is no other way, then you have to give them, take the approval from the ECGC for that. Then whatever agreed, that will be compensated by them.
Good. Gagan got the answer. Next.
Yes, sir, there was one more question, sir.
Next. Let us give the preference, otherwise people will miss.
Sweta Single.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge with us. So my question is, what is the percentage of such cases where the importer generally defaults? I mean, if there are 100 transactions, so how many number of transactions where importer are at they do default and do such kind of bargaining? I mean, just whatever.
Can you please repeat, madam?
So my question is, what is the percentage of such kind of default, wherein importer do such kind of bargaining and they do not make the payments?
Percentage of defaulters in case of this kind of issues.
The percentage, I have to avail the statistical data, but rest assured that you will be compensated to the extent of 90%. There are so many things I can next, if you want, I can present how much claim they are paying and all. Now ECGC settles claim more or less 90% or sometimes 100% of whatever premium they receive through policy.
No, the question is overall the deals. What is the failure percentage of payments which comes?
Failure percentage, it is today I don't have readily that thing.
No, in general, 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%. Deals which fails.
Yeah, commercial defaults are many. It can be of any reasons. Insolvency is also there. Protracted default is there.
Sir, to the point, only 1% or 2% or 3%. What is the percentage, if you have the idea?
Sir, I do not know, so I don't want to comment it.
Okay, I got it. Next question.
Aval.
Hi, sir. Sir, I wanted to understand, let's say you mentioned that ECGC covers most of the list besides, let's say, quality. So I want to understand what are the other areas or the reasons by which ECGC cover will not get covered, will not get claimed because of different reasons.
See, I have shown you the side where they are not considered a credit risk. If the default is because of those reasons, the ECGC will not compensate that.
Okay. So already covered, sir has covered. You can watch the video tomorrow. Then Vardarajan.
Sir, actually, this marine insurance, is it separate or ECGC offers including this marine insurance?
No, marine insurance is separate, ECGC is separate.
Okay, Arshad Ali. Yeah, Shanawaz.
In between. So my question is that, sir, if I send the sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, if I have sent the documents to the bank and the other side bank customer has received the documents, but if my buyer didn't show up to the bank and he did not accept any documents, then what would be the consequences, sir?
See, if he is not paying the payment, immediately you take care of the goods to be on the safe custody. Then you have to find an alternate buyer, or to discount it, or to, I mean to say, to bring back the goods. Whatever the sources
No
available.
no legal charges on the buyer, sir. No legal charges. No legal charges can I take on the buyer.
Legal charges for what?
For placing the order, and I have fulfilled all the document conditions.
Yes, that you can put this thing, file a suit in his country, and you have to obtain a decree in your favor in their country.
Okay,
Because
so
normally it is considered the jurisdiction will be in the buyer's country.
Okay, sir. I got it. So,
That,
but
that
if
also
he
you
comes,
can tell them that these are all the way I want to recover from you, and you can take permission for those charges, and if they approve that can also be claimed.
sir, if he comes and receives the documents satisfying all the documents on the day of due, if he is, how could the bank would entertain him to negotiate payment terms after receiving the documents again?
See, the thing is, first of all, what is the terms? If it is DP, first he has to make the payment and then take delivery of the goods by obtaining the document.
No, sir, I'm talking about against the credit. If he accepts the documents on the day of...
That means you will raise bill of exchange. He will put his acceptance on that and take delivery of the goods. On due date, the banker will call him and ask for payment. If he does not make the payment, immediately it will intimate to your bankers, and subsequently you are also from your side following up with your buyer whether he has made the payment or not. Coinciding with each the situation, you have to react further.
Okay.
Shanavas.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I want to ask one question. What are the charges we should pay for ECGC taking the insurance? Like it's like on any of a percentage, or like how is the charges and what are the charges, sir?
See, first of all, you have to become a member. At that time, they want some deposit. Minimum 10,000 rupees they will take. If you go for small exporters policy, some 5,000 rupees they will take. And again, based on your turnover, they may ask for little more money as a deposit. Now, the premium will be charged again each and every shipment. That basis is terms of payment and country classification. They have classified all the countries over the world into 7 categories, and the terms of payment from LC side to DA 360 days. So accordingly, they have the tabular column, that matrix they called. In that ways, they will charge the premium.
Right.
So say basically, it is starting from 0.05%, the minimum. The maximum would be 2.41 paise or 50 paise per 100 rupees GA.
Okay, next Vishnuvardhan, last. Let's close. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for your patience answering of all the questions.
Okay. Thank you, Rao Garu.
Thanks.
I wish you all to become the best exporters by availing credit insurance.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for the knowledge.
We will catch up by 9:30. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
In 9:15.
Fine, sir.
Yeah, fine, sir.
9:15?
Yeah.
9:15?
Ah, okay.
9:15. 9:35, sir. 9:15.
Don't confuse. Okay, let us catch up by 9:30. Don't worry.
Okay.
9:30, please.
Have a peaceful dinner, then come back.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You too.
See you at 9:30.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
9:30.
So we're clear, but roller coaster ride and scary like doing.
Thank you, sir.
At the end, you got the solution for everything. There is a organization which can safeguard you.
Yes, sir. Obviously, 100%.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. See you.
Yes, sir.